Hey, welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're once again talking about Charlie's Angels in the second film starring Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, which of course is Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, once again directed by McG, and this is a movie. It's a movie. We'll soon get around to what I mean by that in a second, but I am now sanguine about the reboot. Let's get cracking. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, sanguine, confident and hopeful about what might happen, especially in a difficult situation. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle brings back our lady spies once again as they attempt to find two rings that, when split apart, are useless, but when they put together, digitally store the identities of people in witness protection. The girls must traverse through different places throughout the globe to find it, even when the villain seems to be one of the angels' ex-boyfriends. Okie dokie, so they definitely upped the ante in this film when it came down to ridiculousness. McG often has a self-aware sense of humor, so I was often split down the line in deciding if what I was watching was actually terrible or not, because it's particularly the CGI and the action that's just off the wall bad and appears as if the budget team didn't actually know how much money they had but still ordered a ton of shots that they couldn't afford, and what they got was hot garbage. Then the other part of me is just thinking that all the bad effects was on purpose in order to turn the film into a so bad it's good scenario, because guys, I did have a freaking great time while watching this movie. It's so stupid and it's so over the top, but maybe that's the point. I mean, yeah, if you watch the movie thinking they're actually trying to be epic and explosive, you'll probably hate the movie with a vengeance. But at the same time, it's a comedy. And comedies don't usually try to be epic, which only points me at the fact that it is trying to be one of those movies that's technically bad, but you can really enjoy watching it at the same time. Once again, a part of that enjoyment has something to do with the angels played by Diaz, Liu, and Barrymore, who I mentioned in my review of the first film, have a really good sense of chemistry with one another. They're just having fun, which really only benefits what happens in the film itself. If you watch the end credits, they have a gag reel which is interwoven with clips of the girls just having fun together, because it's really important to understand the spirit of the film. It's nothing serious. It's just fun. Also, Bosley in the first film was Bill Murray, and he did a great job. But the Bosley in this film was Bernie Mac, and my God, the man is a comedic legend. It's so tragic that he couldn't live on, because he always brought a level of comedy that is completely unmatched in whatever he shows up in. He's hilarious, and potentially my favorite character in Full Throttle as a whole. Unfortunately, though, so bad it's good or not, it does have a lot of random characters that are there for star appeal than they're there for any real reason. One of those actors is Shia LaBeouf. Really early on in his career, obviously. This came out the same year as Holes, so he's pretty innocent, but his character is basically useless. He's just sitting around basically being Shia LaBeouf. He doesn't really serve any function. Also, the Olsen twins show up at one point, which is funny to watch, but again, they serve no real function. Apart from the random casting, this also seems to be a bit of a spoof film, as one of the first scenes in the film is the girls investigating a crime scene in an over-the-top way as if they're forensic experts. A clear nod to CSI. Sure, they used some of the knowledge they learned here in the next scene, so it wasn't completely pointless, but it's just one of the examples where I think they went a little bit overboard. Some of the self-aware stuff is great, but some of it isn't. I think for the most part, that's why they never finished the trilogy with these girls, because it just didn't check all those boxes that it needed to. One thing that I really appreciated here was the fact that it didn't feel like 5 different TV show episodes. The first did, so the first felt really convoluted, but the second lessened that to maybe 2 to 3 episodes tops. Still not a perfect example for pacing, but it was headed in the right direction. As a whole, I would have to say that my enjoyment level was better than the first, but not by much. The things that helped the score improve here was the slightly better pacing and the elements that I found that were so bad that it's good. At the end of the day, I scored Charlie's Angels Full Throttle a 68%, 68 out of 100 possible stars, granting it the letter grade of D, which is the same letter grade that I gave the first movie, but the first scored 3% lower at 65%. Very similar movies. Very similar. I would say if you enjoyed one, you'll more than likely enjoy the other. I just think this one is slightly more entertaining. Take that as you will. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this sequel in the comments down below. Are you a fan of this duology with these angels, or are you more of a fan of the 2019 film that just came out? Let me know below. I should be reviewing that new film next week. As for YouTube, you know what to do. If you like this review, make sure that you hit the subscribe button to see more like it. Hit the thumbs up button, because it always helps out my channel, and don't forget about the little bell icon, because that'll help notify you when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!